This is my SuperCapRack. It's a container to hold the supercapacitors in the supercapacitor design challenge or experimenting challenge. So what I did was I 3D printed a top plate and a bottom plate, and I just glued a bunch of straws in between to keep the leads of each capacitor isolated so that they cannot short each other out. Some of these capacitors could get damaged by shorting them out, so I wanted to make a container that kept all the leads separated. And I have a legend, a soft legend that I can change to say where each capacitor is. So I just used, a bag of 150 straws and cut them up. Used about a dozen straws. The whole bag cost $1, so not an expensive deal, and it saved a lot of printing time to use straws instead of printing all the separation in one piece with the 3D printer. So on here we have all the capacitors from Cornell du Billiere, and there's even a couple of miscellaneous capacitors and even a couple of mystery supercapacitors, just because I had extra space on the print. So I've got a nice little container, and that's going to hold my capacitors while I'm for storage and for while I'm testing. So I really like the creative aspect of these little extras that we do in these experimenting projects. And another thing that I did was to make a test stand for the device under test. So this test stand has various cups on it to hold various capacitors when I'm going to test them. So if I want to take a capacitor and pop it into a slot, I can connect up to the leads here, and we've effectively immobilized the capacitor while we're doing our testing, and without crushing it in a vise or anything like that. So I can put any one of these capacitors in its appropriate slot and test them that way. And of course it's all mounted with a hockey puck to make it nice and stable. So while I'm waiting for my circuit board, I'm getting creative with the way we're holding the capacitors and storing them.